Hey everyone, this is my new Lego mock, Treasure Cove. Now, I've first thought about making this mock over a year ago, but it's finally taken me this long to get around to doing it. But here it is eventually. I ordered all the pieces for it off lego.com, bar the minifigs and the treasure. And all up, if I was to guess, I'd say it's probably around 6,000 pieces, maybe 4,000. So let's take a look at it. So the idea in this mock was it was sort of a cave over at the ocean's edge, and it's centered in the sort of the 19th century with the British Imperial Guards. Of course, I like those guys, so we'll take a look at them. And I ordered these guys off eBay. Had a really good seller that had a bunch of them for me. And the idea is that this guy here, this lad, has committed some crime, probably stolen something or something, and he's been chased by these Imperial Guards, and this chase has led him to this cliff where he has all of a sudden ran out of space and is about to fall off when he notices these guys over here and their boat. Now these guys are stealing some treasure from this treasure cove in here, and just by pure coincidence they've happened to do it at the same time that all these Imperial Guards have chased these guys. So these guys are in a bit of a pickle now. So I thought that was pretty cool. For the main guy that I've got here, I used the minifig torso from the old Johnny Thunder dinosaur sets, and I used the head from the Time Traveler series. Of course, I like that head. It is more different than most minifigs, and you don't really see it anymore. So one of the hardest things in building this mock probably was the cliffs. Yeah, I've never done cliffs before, and I've seen some other mocks, so I gave it a go, but yeah, I think it turned out pretty well in the end. I mean, the hardest thing with doing this as opposed to my other mock, which is set in Star Wars and Coruscant, is that this is mostly nature. And nature, being so unpredictable and random, has its drawbacks. Whereas with the other mock, I was able to just do everything uniform and angular. So I had to add in weathering things, especially on this column that's out here. So you can see it's got its weathering things on the side there, and going all around. Also on the other side too, I added some vegetation to the sides just to make it look like something else is, the vegetation's going on from there, and a little hole in the wall so you can see through there. Then on the top, that was a hard part too. When I was building this, I actually had to have structures in the middle about there to support the top, simply because it just wasn't holding itself up. So I end up designing the top like a piece of plywood, having pieces going one way, then other pieces going the other way. And that ended up making it super strong to the point where it's just not going to move now. It'll easily hold itself up. And on top here, the idea is that this little hatch here, you can open and close that. So the idea is when it's closed, there is no light coming through the top to the treasure. However, when you open it, a beam of light would come down and illuminate the treasure. Unfortunately, because there's not much light inside, that wasn't happening, so I decided to install a little bit of a lighting system. So all you have to do is come around the back here, where I've got the little on-off button and battery pack, and I'll just flick it on, and you get that really awesome effect like that, where you got the light coming down from the roof and illuminating the treasure. I really like that effect, and it's made it look really cool. The treasure I've spent, that's just my collection over the years that have passed. I mean, a lot of the coins come from those old pirate sets from 10 years ago, and there's got the crown there, and I think there's an old Johnny Thunder jungle icon there if it manages to focus itself. Yeah. And yeah, then I've added in, you know, other things like a sword there and whatnot. But yeah, I like my treasure collection, and really this set was originally my idea just to be able to show off a lot of my treasure stuff. I've also, one of the hardest things was doing the tree, because my original idea of making this, the tree was obviously going to be one of the focus points. It's the main feature on the top of the MOC. So I've never done trees before either, especially not on this scale. So I started off building the trunk and went up to the top, and then I wasn't really sure how to do the branches, but I finally went with the idea of, let's see if we can zoom in here. I got two 6x1 flat brown pieces, and then I just sandwiched these green elements in between the two, and I made like at least a dozen of them, and I just put them all on in different random places on the tree, and it ended up turning out really good. I was really happy with the final effect there. For the grass, of course, I just used those flower stems like a lot of people have been using lately, and they turned out really quite well, especially look at them down low. I like doing that. If we look over here, we have I added some flowers in there. I just liked, especially the red flowers here, I've kind of used to lead the viewer's eyes following the trail to there. For the white flowers, I just really like that representation around the hatch there, so I went with that. And then I also ordered these large leaved elements, and my first idea is I would kind of have them scattered amongst the grass and whatnot. But then I realized that kind of gave a not very natural effect, whereas, you know, you're more likely to see that same species all bunched up together. So I decided to put them all together like that, and it actually ended up looking a lot better. At the end, I also had the problem of what am I going to do with the sea, how am I going to do the waves, and there's a lot of different interpretations on, especially MOC pages and sites like that. So I just went with the simple idea of just dotting waves on with those single one dot elements, and it's actually came out pretty well. I put the see-through ones around the edges to kind of give the idea that the waves are splashing against them, and added them on the boat there too. They look pretty good. Originally with the boat I actually had significantly more white elements around there, but it was looking, I don't know, not very good, not very natural, so I took some away and it actually ended up looking better. And yeah, so in the end, I'm very happy with the way that this MOC turned out. I probably spent 3 days making it. You know, at least a couple of hours on each day, but I got it done, and I'm extremely happy with it. I mean, I guess the next thing for me is to find some sort of nice enclosure for it, maybe glass, so that it doesn't get much dust in it. I'm sick of dust going on all my Lego. But yeah, thanks for watching, and check out any of my other MOCs on my YouTube page too. Thanks.